Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are here today with Filativity. We're doing a collaboration with him here in this amazing Star Wars themed makerspace that he has designed and created. It's absolutely a pleasure being here with you today. Thank you for inviting us.
Well, thanks for coming. Glad to have you.
It's been awesome. You do a lot of Star Wars stuff, and I mean, not just that, but tons of different stuff. You do have this guy on display for us. Can you tell us about this?
Yes, this is obviously it's R2-D2 from Star Wars, designed by Michael Baddeley, actually.
I absolutely love that community. And I'll let you explain about that community. You're really heavy into it.
Yeah, well, the maker community in general, just amazing, supportive people that share ideas. They share files. They share ways to fix things, ways to do things and build. So I just love the maker community all around.
So I know with the Michael Baddeley group, they're really active on Facebook. That's where I interact with them a lot. You get a lot of good information, a lot of good feedback. If you have questions with stuff, anything animatronic, or they do tons and tons of Star Wars stuff. That's one of the main things that they do there. But you can go and ask questions. They will help you with electronic stuff. There are so many people willing to help everyone else, and that's really what the maker community is all about.
Yeah, it really is a pay it forward community, and I subscribe to his Patreon so I can have access to the files and actually help others that are on there as well.
So this is one of the files that he designed to be, like, I guess this is radio controlled then?
That's correct. It's fully radio controlled, so it kind of gets you started in the idea of animatronics and how to take something you 3D print and put it into the real world.
So is this scaled down at all, or was this designed to be this specific size?
The particular design is this size. However, it is obviously scaled down from the full-size R2-D2 models.
Okay, that's awesome. So if you want to build a little one instead of taking up, 4 cubic feet of space in your room, because those are huge.
They are massive.
You could still have one that does all the stuff. Does everything on here work like the big ones do?
Yes, the head spins. It has lights inside. The arms open and close, and you can drive it around with a remote control.
That is awesome. I haven't seen these. That makes me want to go home and make one.
Yeah.
If you've seen anything on Michael Baddeley stuff, or you know about him, you know all the crazy, amazing stuff that they do. And they do have, I believe they have the files and everything, if you're a member of their Patreon, for the full-size 3D printed R2-D2s, the build instructions. They've got all the stuff for the electronics you need and everything. And he has, what, 20 or 30 other droid projects and stuff on there?
At least, yeah.
It's an amazing community. You guys really should go check out his page on Facebook. He's on Patreon, and I think he has an Instagram as well. I will link all this stuff at the bottom of this. That is an absolute awesome community. You guys should really go check that out. I know this guy's not the only thing you have printed in here. If you guys seen from the intro, you have another pit droid behind it that's just absolutely awesome. Yes. Did that come from him as well, or is that from another community?
This is actually from another community. You can find these files on Etsy, and we'll provide the links for those as well. But Space Bob's Printed Droids is who designed this one. And it's not an animatronic, but it does do audio and lights. So it makes the pit droid sounds, and his eye lights up on that particular
And those, and I'm assuming the electronic files are all in that thing, or is that a...
Well, actually, that's the beauty of the maker community, right? So other people have taken this model and adapted it to be able to do those things from the original.
Oh, cool. So the model stuff you get from him on
Etsy.
On Etsy, and then you can get all the electronics to do all the... I mean, I'm assuming you could probably put servos and stuff in and actually make him kind of remote controlled and move his head, or if you really wanted to get extensive, I'm sure they've got motors. You could even get his arms and hands to work in it.
You certainly could
to put that much work into it.
Absolutely, you certainly could.
Because that is an absolutely awesome model as well. I know you've got some banners back here and these lights. I absolutely love these lights. This is an amazing space. And we'll do a big walk around in here before this is all over, so you guys can actually see everything, because you hand painted all these walls?
Yes, the walls and the ceiling actually is fully hand painted. So it's a water-based oil paint that was put on with the 2-inch chip brush, the whole office. So the idea was kind of take the Tatooine, Star Wars Tatooine feel and make it more like a rock cave environment to just get the ambiance right.
It looks awesome in here. And these lights go perfect with them. And I really love the banners. Is this how it's going to be set up, or were you going to do something else? I'm like, I know you kind of had a vision for what's going on in here.
Yeah, and it's kind of an iterative process. You know, as you build things, you start to make changes and that sort of thing. So yeah, there'll be a lot more weathering as time goes on because it's supposed to be aged. So there'll be a lot more weathering. Probably going to add some different lightsabers to the walls, maybe move the lights around.
That'll be awesome.
You'll notice here, there's a lot of faux rock made out of foam, actually. So on my Instagram channel, Filativity, I showed how I did the rock wall painting and stuff.
I really seen some of that, and seeing this in person for the first time, like this rock wall, seeing it on Instagram does not do it justice to what this looks like in person. The detail on this rock and these blaster marks on this is just awesome. And
Thank you.
It is detailed really well on your Instagram channel that walks you through the process of how you kind of built it. But not just building, how did you come up with the idea of using the materials you use to do this wall?
Well, actually, I follow a number of other YouTubers that do these types of things. They do different prop builds, and Smuggler's Room is one, for instance, where I've learned a lot. They primarily focus on Star Wars related themes and model building, and that's where I learned a lot of these lessons.
That is awesome. I really like that. I'm kind of jealous on that because I want to do that. I just do not have a space to do that in. As you guys seen on my channel, the maker shop that I'm in is very, very pressed for space, I guess, and everything I got to use. Space is at a premium, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I try to make best use, and if I had space to do some really cool display like that, I'd absolutely love to do it. I've got shelves on the wall, which I know some of you have seen that, I mean, I like them and they're functional. And I do have some stuff displayed on them, but they're really in the way.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. This has been great. I know you have one other thing in here that I absolutely freaking love.
No.
And some of the pictures I've seen of it doesn't do justice even to this. It is immaculate. Let's bring that over and get it set up. And I'd love to have you tell us about that because that is, honest to God, my favorite thing in this room.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right. Now that we've got my favorite item you have set up here, why don't you walk us through how this came to be?
Oh, I'd love to. So this is C-3PO, but it's more than just a C-3PO bust. This is an actual animatronic.
So this moves.
It absolutely moves.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
And it talks. But right now I have the audio turned off so that we could do this little demonstration.
So we can turn this on and watch it?
Sure. Shall we try?
Oh, yeah. Let's see that.
All right. Let's do it. So when it first turns on, it's run off Arduino, and it has some programming in it. And so this is actually a mask. This is a helmet that you could wear. But
so if I just printed that, I could just wear the mask?
Yes, you absolutely could.
Oh, that's awesome.
But again, like I said, the maker community is so amazing. So Maker Dan on YouTube is who created all the animatronics inside of this. Using stepper motors, he provides all the instructions. So I just went out, he showed where to get the helmet files and how to start printing and what to do with the electronics. And that's what I did.
So this is his design. He went out, found a C-3PO mask that someone else had designed, and then he designed the rest of it to animate this whole thing?
Yes, that's accurate, yeah. So he designed the cover plate here, which is actually resin printed. The rest of the box is MDF wood, and then everything else is 3D printed, including the gears on the inside.
So if you look close, we all know 3D printing, there's always layer lines and everything.
Absolutely.
No matter how fine, even in resin printing, you can see them if you look, well, with me, and microscope or at least a magnifying glass to see them, but they're there. This has nothing. This is flawless. How did you achieve such a perfectly glossy, smooth finish on this helmet like this? That had to be painstakingly long process.
It actually was, yes. So you start with sanding with a heavy grit sandpaper to knock down the larger layer lines. And then I used actually the Bondo spot putty, the really dark red spot putty, mixed with acetone and brushed it over the whole thing. Sanded that down again. And then we used high build primer, sand that down, another layer of primer, sand that down. Then you get into wet sanding, sand it all down again, and then you start doing your final coats of paint.
So exactly how long did it take you just to get that finish on it? Because that sounds like a much longer drawn out process than making this box or doing the electronics would be.
I was actually doing it kind of in tandem so that I could, while I was waiting for things to dry, I was working on electronics and the other 3D prints. But this overall build took probably start to finish about 6 weeks.
Wow. I have tried sanding stuff. Again, you guys have seen some of the stuff on my channel, especially the monster truck that I'm currently working on. And I've got some sanding and stuff that I'm doing that, and it's painstaking.
Absolutely.
It drives me absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And my problem is I don't know if it happens to you. I'm sure everyone in the maker community has got their own little pet peeves that they do that just bugs them. And one of my biggest ones is I can finish a project and it be flawless like this. And to me, there'll be one thing I know that I messed up on that's still there, and that is the only thing I see when I look at it. I'm like, I wish I could fix that. But if I go back to fix it, I tend to always make it worse.
The whole thing. Yes, absolutely. I'm the same way. There are flaws in this, but I know them. And if I point them out to you, then you'll know them. So I'm going to keep those.
I can tell you that I absolutely don't. I have not seen a flaw in this yet. And I've looked at this thing from every angle. This is amazing.
Appreciate that.
It really looks like this was something that came out like a master prop builder warehouse that was used in a movie. This could totally have been in one of the movies. It's just amazing quality. The craftsmanship in this is awesome.
Thank you.
So I guess what we're gonna do is when we end this, we can get some video of him actually talking and chatting because you said he talks.
He absolutely talks. So we can put the audio back on so you can show a video of that too, because you really get the full effect when you hear him talking. His eyes are lighting up and he's moving.
Yeah, because I mean he's got a lot of motion to him. So how many accesses does he actually have in his head? Because I've seen him look up and turn.
Yes. So he actually turns left to right and his head tilts front to back. Those are the motions that it makes, and it's 100% random. So it's got a random generator in there that runs on the Arduino boards that controls the movements, and it'll randomly move tilt forward, tilt back, turn side to side. So you'll notice it turns at different degrees every time. So it didn't turn as far this time as it did the previous time.
So when the audio is going, I'm just assuming because I haven't seen it. Does he talk every time he turns, or is the audio just as random as the movements are?
The audio is basically as random as the movements are. So there's a number of audio tracks, and it randomly grabs an audio track every so many seconds, and it'll play that.
It's freaking out. I could sit here and watch this all day long. I loved your makerspace. I loved you inviting us here. I really appreciate you bringing us here. This was absolutely awesome, and I really hope we can do some more, maybe bigger collaborative projects in the future.
That would be amazing. I'd love to have you back anytime.
Awesome. Come out, check out GingerGeekStudios channel. This will be hosted on both my channel and Filativity's channel. And we're really hoping to get together to do some more collaboration in
the future.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Until next time.